Let's talk about what it really takes for you to go full-time in your online business this year. No BS, what should you actually be focusing on if you want to take this from side hustle to your full-time income in 2025? If you've been wondering what it really takes to actually make that transition and make this your full-time job and actually to build up this full-time income from your business, this is the video for you. I'm going to be breaking down exactly how I got there myself and how I've helped my clients get there as well, to actually going full-time in your business and your business actually giving you the full-time income to support you from this. Now, I think for pretty much all of us, when we start an online business, when we start this maybe side hustle to begin with, kind of the goal is to go full-time. This is the big pie in the sky goal. This is the end game that we're really working towards, is this being our one income, this being the one job, this being the thing that we can live off of. And that requires a few different things. But firstly, I want to talk about, why is this so important? Why should this be your goal for 2025 if it isn't already? And that is because it is honestly life-changing, not just for your business, but for your life as well, when this can be your full-time income. This is huge for you. Firstly, on the business front, it means that you actually have full time to actually devote towards this business. You have the time, you have the energy to actually grow and scale this towards the dreams that you had, towards the vision that you have, towards the direction you've really been wanting to go in. And typically when people are, part-time maybe, when it's a bit more of a side hustle, we're really limited with time. That's kind of the main issue. We don't necessarily have the time to be really putting into this and be building this. But suddenly this world of opportunity opens up when you are full-time with this, because you have the full 24 hours of the day. You have a lot of time to put into this. So this can grow exponentially so much faster when you are full time. So getting there is a huge milestone there. And most of us, we started our business for more freedom in the first place. So I can't think of a better way to get there than actually being full time in your business. This gives you complete control over your working hours, over your days. It gives you that financial freedom of actually being able to control your income and being able to build something real. But to get there, we need a few different things. There are 4 things I'm going to go through in this video that I think are the most important keys to you actually going full-time this year. If you can unlock these, you can do anything and you can really hit that full-time mark this year. I have been full-time in my business for about 3 or 4 years now. I've helped dozens of my clients to go full-time. So these are the 4 things which I see commonalities between every single person, no matter what industry you're in, of actually what it takes to make this your full-time income. So these are the 4 things you should be focusing on in 2025. And just before I jump into those, I wanted to share that if 2025 is the year you are really serious about going full-time in this business, you are really wanting to build up a consistent income, you are wanting to do this in the simplest way possible, and you're wanting to grow this business with just more freedom at the heart of everything, my one-to-one coaching program is now accepting new clients. So the link is in the description to check out the full page, talking through all the details of what this program looks like, how I can support you in growing your business this year. And you can also schedule a free discovery call where we can talk a little bit further about you and your specific business and your goals and whether we could be a fit for me helping you get there. So make sure you check out the link in the description as well at the end of this video and apply for a discovery call with me. Now, the first thing I really want you to be focusing on with getting your business to be a full-time income this year is actually on you being consistent. So obviously, naturally, one of the big things we need from the business for us to go full-time is we need consistency in the income there. We need some stability there, but that really starts first and foremost with you being consistent in the business. And I see this pattern so much when it's a side hustle for someone, when it's a part-time thing for someone, when it feels very much like a bit of extra income, is they treat it like that. You'll treat it like it is a side hustle, like it's some extra thing, like it's a, evening thing that if I just don't do any work on it tonight, it doesn't really matter that much. And actually making that shift to seeing it as a business, seeing it as a full-time thing, not necessarily in terms of the hours you're putting in, but just the attention and the quality of energy that you're putting into the business. Actually doing that before you go full-time is what's going to accelerate you being full-time so much quicker as well. So really thinking about how you can get more consistent, because if we're wanting this consistent income, it makes complete sense, right? That we're wanting consistent income that comes from consistent clients. Where do they come from? Consistently selling, consistently talking about your offer, consistently showing up, consistently attracting new people into your audience. So you actually being consistent is really the first step that leads to all of those things happening 10 times easier. So think about where you can actually get a little bit more consistent. Are you consistently showing up for the marketing in your business? Are you consistently talking about your offers and selling your offers? Are you consistently opening new spaces so people can work with you? I want you to really ask yourself, if this was your full-time role right now, if this was your full-time online business right now, what would you be doing differently? How would you be showing up? How would you approach your days? Would you even just get a little bit more strategic with how you're planning your weeks and sit down Sunday evening to plan out what you're going to be focusing on? Would you get more consistent with posting content on social media? Would you actually build up that email list? What would you do differently if this was your full-time income right now? And then start doing some of those things. Again, you don't need to put in full-time hours. We're not saying that at all. We're just saying we need to have that focus and that attention as if we were full-time, because that's what's going to get you there. So that can sometimes just look like being a bit more strategic with different things and just making a bit more strategic moves, and also making sure that we are not ghosting the business one week to the other. We're actually really showing up consistently. So start thinking about how can you show up a little bit more consistently. Now, the second thing we need, kind of hinted at it already, is we need consistent clients and consistent income. This is kind of the biggest checkbox for a lot of people, because sure, we could have one really amazing month, but if the next month is $0, then it doesn't really matter. We kind of don't have that freedom to actually be able to take this full time, because we don't have that consistent income to pay bills, to live life, and to just have a bit of finances there. So actually thinking about how can we build consistent income and really prioritizing that and actually planning for that versus one big month. One big month is great, but it's not going to do really much towards you unlocking that goal of going full time. Sure, it can help to build up some cash reserve for you and some buffer for if you are leaving a job. And also, if you don't have that consistent income coming in, that's going to be the bit where it all falls apart, essentially. So we really need to prioritize building that consistent income and building those consistent clients. Now, this really comes to having consistent clients here, as in we are not just going to be signing one client and then having no idea where the next one's coming from, having no idea where our income next month is coming from, starting each month from zero. Those are the things we want to be avoiding. So to make sure we're avoiding that and actually setting us up to go full time this year, you want to be focusing on having a sales plan and having a sales process. So sales plan, what am I selling? When am I selling it? How many spaces do I need to fill to actually hit this income goal? So if you work backwards from how much income you need, so if you are replacing a job's income, for example, what is that number for you that you want to be making each month? And then can we reverse engineer from there? Can we go backwards from there and say, okay, how many clients would that be in my one-to-one program, for example? How many am I needing to sign? And actually working out that number and then creating a plan for when and how we're going to be signing those clients from there. That is where the sales process really comes in. So having a real clear step-by-step of how we're actually going to be signing clients. I will include up in the cards here a video that I put together where I was walking through last year what my 3-step sales process was for signing one-to-one clients. So that's a great example for you of what that sales process really looks like that you can check out there. Now, having a sales process like this works so well because we're actually considering all the aspects of the sales funnel. We are thinking about how are we bringing in new people into our audience, new ideal clients. How are we actually getting leads? So getting people who are interested in working with us, and then how are we actually converting them? How are we actually signing on those clients? And having all 3 of these, a process and a plan in place for how you're going to do these, means that you get consistent clients because you're consistently moving the needle in all of these areas. So actually thinking about not just how can I consistently sell my offer, but what is my sales process, and just taking a minute to think about what's my sales plan? When am I going to be selling these things? AKA, what does the calendar look like here? And then what is my process, which is how I'm getting these sales? What am I actually putting in place to make these sales? And actually consistently utilizing those 2 different things. That is going to move you towards actually getting consistent clients. So it doesn't feel like we're relying on someone just happening to sign up. We know how we can go out and get some more leads for our program. We know how we can actually go out and convert those leads because we have a plan in place for this. I feel like this is probably one of the biggest things which does keep people stuck from going full-time in their business, is that the income doesn't feel really predictable, reliable, stable, and we're told so much that entrepreneurship is this big roller coaster of income, and might be a 0 one month, might be 10K the next month. That can absolutely be true. And also, you don't have to have a business which looks like that. You can have a business with very consistent, stable income. Just start thinking about, what does it actually take to build that? Are your offers set up for that? If you're just launching a, one-time purchase course, for example, and that's all you're selling, of course, it's naturally going to be a little bit harder than if you were to do a one-to-one program, which is 6 months, where people are paying 6-month payment plans, for example. You can set your business up and choose how to intentionally structure that. So really think about, are your offers actually set up for that? And then having that sales plan, having that sales process to make it really easy for you to actually get consistent sales, not just consistent clients, and actually not even needing to rely on the payment plans, actually being able to get those really consistent sales every single month that can actually support you in having a little bit more stability and reliability to your income as you go full-time. Now, the third thing you need to go full-time in your business is you need a simple strategy. We need to make this 5 times simpler than it currently is for you to run your business. Because a lot of people, when we're thinking about, okay, what is standing between you right now and going full time, typically the income is the issue of, okay, maybe I'm not making the amount I need right now to go full time, or I don't have the consistency in the amount. So I have hit that amount, but it feels like an up and down every single month. I can't actually reliably trust that I'm gonna have that amount coming in every single month. But actually, before that as well, a lot of us are really stuck on, okay, if I wanted to increase the income to that level, and if I wanted to get it to, let's say 5K, for example, I can't even imagine how I would do that on my current hours, because as I said at the start of this video, time is probably your biggest constraint right now. You just don't have 24 hours a day to actually be spending on the business because you're working a full-time job, or you have a part-time job, or you have other responsibilities. You don't have as much time. So time is the limited thing for you, which means we need to get even more strategic with where you're spending your time. Stop spinning the wheel, stop doing all this random stuff that isn't actually getting you towards this goal. We need to get really intentional with, where do you actually need to be focusing, and can we simplify what you're doing so we just have less on your plate? Because if you're at 3K months, for example, right now, and you're wanting to get to 5K months, naturally there's going to be a little bit extra we need to do, even just from the perspective of, I have a couple of extra clients that I'm going to be working with, for example. And typically a lot of people, we don't have that space to add to our plates if we're not yet full time. And that can be a big gap of why people can't get there. So actually, can we simplify the heck out of this, make it so easy for you to run the business as it currently is, that we suddenly do free up a lot of times. You have the time and space to actually grow and to actually hit that full-time income number before you're actually full-time in the business. So it really gives you that freedom to reach that without having this stressful period of a few months where you're just working overtime essentially to try and hustle and chase that goal. With this, I just want you to get crystal clear on where you're actually spending your time and what is actually working for you. So look at really, where is your income coming in from? What offers are you spending time promoting? Where should you maybe be spending a little bit less time? Because if you can see that that course that you're selling, for example, is only accounting for 10% of your income, but you're spending 80% of your time promoting it, maybe we should be spending a little bit less there, unless this is the area we really think we can see growth in which case maybe do a little bit more there. So really evaluating, where are you spending your time? Where is the best use of your time? Where are you getting the best results? Where is your audience right now? What is going to be the easiest route essentially towards you hitting whatever number you have in mind consistently? What is going to be the easiest route, and what actions is it going to take to actually get there? And do those things and just those things. Cut all the fluff. We don't need to do all these extra things. We don't need to build on all these extra new platforms. Really just think, what is the simplest route for me to get there? Because once we've got there, we can add all these extra things. We can do all that, those extra platforms. We can get on Pinterest if you're wanting to, all of those things. But actually getting to that goal is your number one focus right now if you're wanting to go full time this year. And the fourth and maybe most important, but maybe less talked about thing is you really need resilience during this period, because it can be hard. You're hearing no, you're getting rejections. It can feel a little bit like the income is in that roller coaster stage for a little bit, and it can just feel hard, right? And often the mindset is really the big piece towards getting you to this full-time income goal, because you can see from those 3 things I've mentioned already, they're not crazily complicated. They're not difficult. They're not impossible by any means. They're actually kind of simple things that you could do, but a lot of the times we'll just get in our own way and we'll get really stuck around what we should be doing, shiny object syndrome, starting to jump into something else, thinking it's not working, so pulling back when actually we should be leaning in more, and actually you staying on top of your mindset and having that resilience to know that you are going to hear no from a potential client, and that's okay. That does not mean your offer sucks. It does not mean no one wants it. That just means that person was not a good fit specifically. But actually staying on top of your mindset and really being aware of that is so important to you actually being able to do all of the things that I mentioned before, to you actually being able to take action on those and actually make those happen. It involves really staying on top of the mindset side and having that resilience there. And this is something I think a lot of people just don't really talk about much, is the fact that it just takes a little bit of time to see results naturally, always. So you're always going to have that middle lull period where you're doing a thing and it looks like it isn't necessarily working, you're wondering why it isn't working, but actually if you just stuck with it for another 2 months, let's say, it would be amazing. It would work really, really well. We just need to stick with it. The same way as if I told you to just go and post on a brand new account content tomorrow, you're probably not going to sign a client. It takes a little bit of time to nurture people, right? Same applies here of actually it's taking a little bit of time for every single thing that you're doing to work. So right now, today after this video, if you go ahead and write out a sales plan, if you write out your sales process, decide brilliant, okay, I know exactly where I need to focus. I've simplified down exactly what I'm doing. I have my really clear to-do list every single week. I'm taking the consistent action. You can do all of those things, but if in 2 weeks' time you're coming back and saying, oh, it's just not working, I want a quick fix, I want a quick solution to sign a client because it just feels like it's not working, then you're just gonna stop doing all of those things, lose that consistency, lose that momentum. People who had been thinking about working with you are gonna not see any of your content because you're not posting any content anymore. Go and find someone else to solve their problems, etc. So actually just staying in the game is such a huge thing. So this can be really helpful of actually if you have a goal to, I want to go full-time this year, what would it look like to have a 90-day sprint for you? What would it look like to come up with that simple plan, as I said about, come up with that sales plan, come up with that sales process, and actually commit to taking that consistent action on that for 90 days, for example. What would that look like for you? How would that sound? What about 60 days? What about 30 days? And actually really challenging yourself to take that consistent action and just treat it as a challenge, I think is so, so helpful for just getting you in the game there and also allowing you to kind of bypass some of the mindset things which do come up, because we're just doing this as a little bit of an experiment. We're just doing it as a little bit of a challenge to kind of see how it goes. It makes it feel easier than I'm committing to this long term forever. That can be so super helpful, but also in this season, just really be aware of your mindset is what I would say, and just take a little bit of time to just make sure you are feeling supported and check in with yourself here. And if you can feel yourself pulling back of, oh, it feels like it's not working, actually check in with, is this really true? Is this actually true right now? Or have I just been doing this for 2 weeks? And maybe I need to give it a little bit more time. Actually check in with that and just be aware that actually the mindset side is kind of the bit that ties the bow together on all of these. This is the important part, that if that doesn't exist, none of these other things can happen because they're just gonna fall apart without that. And honestly, this is one of the biggest conversation areas that I have with one-to-one clients when they are especially going through a season of really big growth, is yes, obviously the strategy side and discussing what they're going to be doing and how they're going to be achieving these things. But then once we've done that, it's really supporting them through that and actually helping them stay in the game, helping them stay on that plan, which we had decided when it looks like it's not working, when it looks like it's not happening, because that is the secret to it actually happening and it actually working at the end of the day. So I have these conversations so much with one-to-one clients, and it's so powerful just having that check-in as well and just having those conversations and having those reminders with yourself that actually this is meant to sometimes feel a little bit hard. I'm going to hear a no. It's going to feel challenging. There's going to be a piece of content that completely flops and does so badly, even though I thought it was amazing. And that is okay. Doesn't mean anything. It's still going to work. I just need to actually do the things to get it to work. So those are the exact 4 things I would tell you to focus on if you were my client to actually go full-time in your business in 2025. If you are really wanting to make this happen this year, if you are really wanting to go full-time, build up consistent income, build up consistent clients in your business, and hit consistent at a bare minimum 5K months in your business, my one-to-one coaching program is now open. Inside this program, we will help you create a repeatable sales system to actually consistently sign clients, feeling the driver's seat and feeling control again of your income in your business, and actually make things so, so simple for you to go about how you run your business and how you achieve all of those goals as well. So you can actually have the freedom you started this business for in the first place. So if you're interested in that, I am taking free discovery calls right now. So you can schedule a free discovery call with me at the link in the description below. I would love to chat with you. We'll talk about what we can do with your business, how I can help you, and if we could be a good fit for one-to-one coaching together. If you found this video helpful as well, make sure you give it a like, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next video coming every single Monday. Next, you should watch this video. I put here a one-page business plan that I created and put together, showing you essentially my sales process for last year with selling one-to-one coaching and how I did this, what I actually focused on, what my actions actually look like. So a perfect example of a sales process here for you. I'll put the link here. You should watch this video next. It's so helpful. I'm going to really build on this one as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.